I made my mind to try even though my spouse does not try at all, because I knew what lacked between us. However, as time passes by, I find myself hating him. Do I have to try to control this feeling as well?
내가 잘못이 뭔지를 확실히
It tells me that you did not find what you did wrong clearly.
다시 나는 이게 왜 이러는지
You say you found out what you did wrong, but has anybody confirmed that you are right?
내가 한 거죠.
It is your opinion. You say to yourself, considering what I have done, this must be my fault. But it doesn't mean that your answer is the right answer. You still have not found the correct answer. The answer that you think is the answer is an answer only to yourself. If you do surgery on someone with a wrong diagnosis, will they get better?
이게 낫겠나요? 오진이면 안 낫고
If it is a misdiagnosis, they will not get better. But with a correct diagnosis and proper medication, they will get better.
이게 보통 그런 것들이 이제 오진을
Frequently, people misdiagnose.
이런 것들이 그러면
If things don't turn out well despite trying, you should consider that your answer may not be correct.
답을 만약에 정확하게 찾았다.
If you have the correct answer, then the solution will appear clearly one by one.
답은 정확한데 푸는 방법을
If
잘
you say,
모르겠다가 아니고
I have the right answer but don't know how to solve the problem, then you have it wrong. The wrong answer will never lead to a solution.
근데 내가 답을 정확하게 찾았다면
If you have the correct answer, then the solution to the problem will arise precisely.
그렇게 하면 이것이 풀리게 되가 있어요. 그래서 내가 오진이라고 하는
That is why I say you have been misdiagnosed. You do not have the correct answer.
정확하게 그 답을
My answer to you is that you have not found the correct answer yet. Therefore, you are still struggling.
그걸 이제 이 답을 찾는 거를 한번
You have to try again to find the answer.
내가 잘못을 했다.
If you did wrong,
입을 닫아야
you should close your mouth from now on.
잘못이라는 게 이게
If you
분별이 된다.
discern that there is a fault on your part, then you should keep your mouth closed. I think that the problem was caused by closing my mouth. I should have said what was right as right and wrong as wrong, and should have tried to make him understand. I think that just closing my mouth was the problem.
당신이 말을 같이 했더라도
Even if you had talked, things would have gotten worse.
말을 같이
It's wrong to think that things would have worked out better if you spoke out.
지금 이게 이렇게 될 정도면
If things turned out this bad, your relationship would have been entangled anyways, even if you had talked.
이 원리가 그렇기 때문에 정확하게 내가
There is an underlying principle to your situation, and that's why I am able to make the diagnosis by just hearing a few words from you.
내가 말을 안
The
하고
problem was not that you closed your mouth.
말을 안 하는 것
There is a principle in closing one's mouth.
말을 안 하는 거 그냥 말을 안 해야
If one
되겠다고
just
또
decides to
알아보는
close
거야.
one's mouth and stay silent, the rest of the family will get frustrated and go crazy from this.
말을 안 하고 입을 닫는
One
것도
should close one's
겸손하게
mouth
내가 말을
with
안 하고
humility.
입을 닫느냐. 겸손하게 말을 닫는 거는 말이죠.
Imagine a human being with verbal skills who decides not to talk. Let me tell you my experience of practicing silence for 17 years.
입을 봉해버리느냐.
Why did I close my mouth for 17 years?
내가 천지도 모르고
I felt guilty about insisting that I knew the right answer without knowing the law of the universe. So I decided to close my mouth from then on. I am sorry.
이렇게 해서 입 닫은 거예요.
That is why I closed my mouth.
그렇게 해서 무릎을 꿇고 나는
Kneeling
시작을
down,
했어요.
I started to pick up trash, repenting for 17 years.
누구하고 말을 하지
I did not talk to anybody for 17 years. I did not make a single assertion that I was right. I picked up trash, kneeling down and repenting. I did not respond to anyone swearing at me and spitting on me. I did not respond to or question any mean words that were thrown at me. I couldn't mix myself with
수가
them.
없었어요. 내 참회라는 겁니다.
It was
내가
my
잘못했기에
repentance.
내가 입을
Because I
닫으니
did wrong, I closed my mouth.
이것이 어떤 시간만큼
As I
내가 그
continued
참회를
my
하느냐에
repentance
따라서
for a certain period of time,
나는 해안이
the
열리기가
eyes of wisdom opened for me.
그러니까 내가 입을 닫고 말을
It
안
was
했다라는
different than closing one's mouth because you think you and the other party are not on the same wavelength. That is not the right way of practicing silence. That is actually an indication of extreme egotistical stubbornness. Things will entangle more. It is even more dangerous than speaking.
상대를 더 무시하는 거거든요.
You are actually disrespecting the other party more.
나도 모르게 하려고
Although you weren't doing it on purpose, that is exactly how it turns out.
그래서 이거
You are despising the other party even more.
이건 풀려가면
Then
더
the
어려운
relationship will become further apart.
이런 것들이죠.
It will be even more difficult to resolve this
입을
issue.
닫는다라는 것이
So what does it mean to close one's mouth?
우리가 알고
If you know this principle and then close your mouth, your behavior will be different.
행위가 달라져요. 행위가
Your actions.
겸손하고 내 잘못을
If you close your mouth after you have humbly repented your wrong, then you will be respectful to whatever the other party says, and your behavior will change.
상대가 어떤 행위를 해도 내가
You will uphold the other party with deference, however he behaves.
상대가 뭐를 택 버리잖아요.
If the other party throws away something, you will pick it up, lowering your head silently without giving an accusing look. You are picking it up, lowering your head because you are sorry. As he behaves that way due to your wrongdoing, you must endure and pick it up apologetically. If you can't do it humbly, do not pick it up. If you don't feel like it, don't pick it up. When you act with the right mindset, your behavior changes accordingly.
네가 하는 행위 자체가 지금 바뀌고 있어요. 그래서 대단히 법칙이라는 게
That is why there is the law of grand nature. If you understand this law correctly and apply it in your life, your behaviors will change to accommodate people correctly. I am not saying this to tell you off. You have to study and research these matters to resolve the issue, and it may be challenging to do, but the result of your labor will affect your children. Once you are enlightened at the cost of this pain, you will earn the power to guide your children not to make the same mistake as you did. You will not make the same mistakes again. Even if you do not know the exact answer, but believe that there must be something that you did wrong, then you should humbly close your mouth.
그렇게 한다면 내가 겸손하면서 입을 닫아야 돼. 겸손하면서 입을 닫아.
You must practice silence with humility. If you act with this mindset, your manner will change even before becoming aware of it. Your actions will change even if you don't want to. Then things around you will change as well. A tangled knot will begin to untangle, and your study will begin. You will truly understand your faults and begin to solve this problem. It is worthwhile to try and make this kind of effort.